baby, come on! Get in!
What's happened?
What's happened? Tottenham are 2-0 down, baby. Sit that Tottenham ass down!
Why is Arsenal the only team that is playing on Thursdays?
That's a fucking foul, ref.
Osterson. How do you pronounce that?
I don't actually know.
Are they a professional team?
What do you mean? Of course they're a professional team.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're not playing amateurs, are we?
Well, I've never heard of them.
Really?
Yep. What's happened?
You fucking saw what happened. They scored. Hello, mate. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I spoke to the Vassell, I spoke to the Leicester fan, and I spoke to
Vassell's good.
yeah, and I spoke to the Peru man.
Uh-huh.
The only man I haven't spoke to
Was
is
he
Robbie.
Peruvian?
But is he definitely?
Yeah,
he's
he's fine. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Rambo's coming in, is he?
Yeah.
There was another Rebel FC video. I don't follow them. I don't know how I keep seeing them.
You on the bench?
On the fucking bench, he didn't even have a kit on. Today, didn't even make the cut. John Terry.
Is he not injured?
Is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. He had a sheepskin coat. Looked like John Watson and Delby were standing on the side.
I think he understands in himself that he's not quite the player he was, but let's hope that autumn is a long one. I would not write off Real Madrid just yet.
And tuning in, listening to hughwizzy's Mission to Moscow here on TalkSport 2. I'm back on Friday at 6 o'clock.
Your tweet's got a bit mental, hasn't it? I've even got my mate's mum messaging me saying, "Why are you in Hughwizzy's tweet?"
Oh, look at you.
This is for the ones who care.
And Arsenal right back Hector Bellerin has accused supporters channel Arsenal Fan TV of feeding off of the club's failures. I want to know where you stand. I'm certainly going to be talking to our studio guest Rambo FIO about it, and we are going to be speaking to the founder of the channel himself, Robbie Lyle. He's a man who is certainly at the centre of all things controversial in Arsenal fandom this morning. I've woken up, I've seen the internet is on fire after Bellerin's comments about Arsenal Fan TV. Can we listen to the clip, Joe? Have we got the clip?
I don't think there's players that actually just go on the internet just so they're going to watch Arsenal Fan TV. It does sometimes pop up in your timeline. So, I mean, I've seen it sometimes. Or I have friends that they've been like, "Oh, have you heard about that guy on Arsenal Fan TV?" Like, I think it's so wrong for someone that claims to be a fan and their success is fed of a failure. So how can that be a fan? So I think there's just people hustling, trying to make money their way, which, you know, everyone is entitled to do. But for us players, it doesn't affect us. Listen, if people want to have fun with it, let them have fun. But for us, you know, we just, as I said, when you grow, you just realize what's important for you to listen to and what not to take. You know, if a coach comes to me and tells me, you've done something bad, you've done something wrong, I'm going to take that advice. If I hear someone from Arsenal Fan TV saying like, "Oh, this guy needs to do this guy needs to do that," I'm not going to listen to him. But, you know, as I say, they're entitled of their opinion, the way they want to do it, and if people find it funny, then go and watch it.
Hector Bellerin against Arsenal Fan TV. I'm delighted to say we're joined on the line now by none other than the founder of said channel, Robbie Lyle. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. I'm hoping it's not versus Arsenal Fan TV. we're not versus him, that's for sure.
Okay, now talk to us about exactly what's happened here. How have you found out the news? Because I know that you've been over to Sweden to see the Östersunds game in the snow. How did you find out that Hector Bellerin was having words to say about Arsenal Fan TV?
I've actually was on my way back. I was just getting on the plane to come back to England after the Östersunds game when I saw some people tweeting about it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I sort of read about it. And then when I got off the plane, I then saw that way more people were tweeting about it and decided to have a listen to what he had to say. And, you know, I wasn't, to put it this way, and I've said this a few times today, Hector Bellerin has the right to his opinion. And, you know, that's his opinion. I disagree with his opinion, but that's his opinion, just like we have the right as fans to have our opinions and do so. We have our opinions on players, how they performed, etc. So, you know, we're big enough to take it. But I don't agree with some of the things that Hector said.
What is it in particular that you don't agree with what he said?
I don't, you know, I didn't like the use of the word hustle. I thought that was a bit disrespectful. I don't agree with the fact that he's saying that we're profiting off of failure. You know what I mean? Arsenal Fan TV, we go to every single game. Home, away, win, lose, draw. We're there. We were there last night, weren't we? What was the point? If we went according to him, if we're profiting off of failure, there's no point in going to that game. Because, you know what, we could have stayed in England, we could have done a watch along to that game and that, and we could have got the same amount of views as going away to watch the game. But I'm an Arsenal fan. First and foremost, I want to go and watch the game. I want to show fans, you know, all around the world, Arsenal fans, what it's like to go to these away games. So if you watch some of our vlogs, etc., we were showing the whole experience of the day. And we want to win. We want to win the Europa League. We want to get back in the Champions League. So we're not here to profit off a failure, you know. And I kind of strongly disagree with Hector when he says that. He sort of said that, you know, he sees it prop up in his timeline. He doesn't watch Arsenal Fan TV. Maybe he's only seen some of the videos when there has been a loss. And maybe that's been shared by an opposition fan, etc. But at the end of the day, you know, Arsenal don't lose that, well, apart from away from home this season, but don't lose that many games. So we'd be out of business if we went off of what he was saying.
Okay,
you know?
okay. I've heard you say this now. This is a stat that Arsenal have played X amount of games whilst you've been doing Arsenal Fan TV. So do you have those numbers with you?
I had. Let me see.
All right, no. Hold on. I've got them here. I've got them here. I've got producer in my ear. Right. Played 217, drawn 49, lost 45. That sound about right?
Say that again.
Played 217.
Yeah.
Drawn 49, lost 45. And then I guess that's, what's my maths? That's about 125.
130 something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you see there, we've won most of the games.
All right, now I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Robbie, because
Go ahead.
217 games played.
That's in the league, by the way.
In the league,
that's a Premier League stat.
Right, if you're losing 45 of those and drawing 49 of those, it's just under half. So anyone that's saying that you're profiting off negativity, half of those games, people are coming away from them not feeling satisfied with the performance they've seen.
No, hold on, because the draw, it depends what type of draw it is. If we would have had a draw against Tottenham last week, are you going to tell me that fans would have walked away from that negative?
I've got to say, I think so. I think so slightly, yes.
If Lacazette would have scored that goal last week, you're telling me that fans would have walked away.
Well, I'll tell you what, from
North London derby.
From my perspective, I would have said, you know what, we were lucky to come away with a draw and we got battered on the day, and that for me is not good enough, and that's why I want change. That kind of stuff.
Well, maybe you, but I don't think, you know, in my experience of doing Arsenal Fan TV, I mean, I saw us draw 0-0 with Chelsea earlier on in the season, and you can go back and look at the videos. The reaction from the fans is very positive. And as a matter of fact, we've even had losses where fans have been positive because they're like, you know what, we lost. Like the effort, for instance, like after Man United, the effort that the players showed, the way we fought to try and get that victory, you know, it was positive. We you know, some of the defending was poor, but at least these guys, they fought to the death to try and get a result.
Okay, look, let me ask you this then, right? Let me ask you this. I want to get to the crux of this, the facts, and I think answer a lot of the questions that people have got. Do you believe that the videos where there is negativity attract more attention, and as a result, if you're being a businessman, I'm not taking anything away from what you're doing. I think what you've done is incredible, mate. I've got nothing but love for you. But realistically, if the videos where Arsenal are doing worse do better, surely that's playing into what Hector Bellerin said. Surely you see that.
No, because he needs to look at the channel overall. You can't just look at it. It's like me saying, does TalkSport want like there to be big losses? You know, were you guys more
Yes, but TalkSport aren't fans. TalkSport are journalists.
Hold on 1 second. Were you guys happier last week when Newcastle beat Man United because you'll get more people phoning in?
Of course. Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Listen, we're there and we go to every game, right? We can't predict the outcomes of games. All we know is that we go to those games hoping that Arsenal are going to win, right? If Arsenal win a game, if we beat Tottenham last week, we would have been there lauding it up as fans. You would have had fans coming on the channel being super positive. It would have been brilliant. If Arsenal lose that game, we're not going to hide away and shy away and try and pretend that we won. Or we're not going to say, right, we're not putting out no videos today because some people like Hector, it might affect Hector. He might say, oh, there's some negativity around. And even if Arsenal Fan TV doesn't exist, there'll be people on Twitter, there'll be people on Facebook, there'll be people on every single social media platform, they'll be on TalkSport, they'll be on 5 Live, ringing in, moaning about the performance if that's what they want to do. So, it's all. I don't understand this thing where it seems to be only Arsenal Fan TV who can't put out a video or anything negative.
No, look, I don't. I'm not saying that at all, man. I'm not saying that at all. Listen, the only thing is,
that seems to be what Hector's saying.
This is the thing. So this is what Hector's saying. That's a fact.
Exactly. So
my thing, though, Robbie. Listen, my thing though is the way I see it. He's not said anything out of order apart from the hustling thing, and even that, I reckon you could argue. He's not been disrespectful.
You think this is a hustle?
No, well, it is. It's a business.
Is TalkSport a hustle?
Of course, it's a business. It's a multi-million-pound business. But the difference is that is TalkSport a bunch of fans? That's what he's questioning.
No, I don't describe this as a hustle. I find that offensive, actually.
That's your... Okay, well, I look at it as a...
Do you know what the word hustle is associated with, right? I don't know, maybe where I'm from, I don't...
No. Okay. I don't want negative connotations around it. It's the job. This is work. This is life. I get that. But the way that I see it, he's come off very well in this interview if you watch the whole thing in general. He's not been disrespectful.
The whole thing in general, Hector Bellerin, I'm saying he's entitled to his opinion. I've not got a problem with Hector Bellerin saying what he said. I'm just, people are asking me for my response to it. I'm giving my response.
No, I hear that. Look, man, and I appreciate you coming on, right?
Hector Bellerin is entitled to say what he said. Hector Bellerin is, he's a big man, he's a player, but also we're entitled to our opinions as well.
Of course.
It seems like people have a problem with ordinary fans having an opinion, with ordinary fans being heard, with their opinions being heard. It's almost like you guys be quiet, shut up, support the club only when we win. And when we lose, be quiet.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
I personally don't agree with that.
I'll say this in response, right? I don't think that the majority of Arsenal fans are seeing themselves as the fans of Arsenal Fan TV because
we don't claim to represent every Arsenal fan.
Right,
when
okay.
Did I ever say that?
But this is the thing. I mean? This is the thing. You can't expect it to be okay for you to go on AFTV and rant and rave and call them every name under the sun and tweet them things like "fix up, you clown" and "cut your hair, you fraud," and not expect to take it back.
I'm on your show, taking it on. I'm accepting whatever Hector Bellerin made his criticism. And I'm on your show, and I am facing up to what you're asking me.
No, look, man, and like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Hold on, I'm not saying that Hector Bellerin can't say what his opinion is. Never once have I said that. He's entitled to his opinion. I'm not saying I represent or the Arsenal Fan TV represents every Arsenal fan. I'm just saying that it's a platform, just like what you're on right now, where fans can have their say. I've heard fans come on your, TalkSport with, opinions that I find, I'm like, what are they talking about? But you know what? It's their club. It's their opinion.
Yep.
you know, you guys have given them a platform, you've given them a chance to be heard, and I hear it. Some people I agree with, some people I don't. I don't agree with every fan that comes onto Arsenal Fan TV, but I do agree that fans deserve to be heard. And that's one of the things that in the past fans were not heard. And I think now with platforms like Arsenal Fan TV and many others out there and many other means of social media, fans are getting a chance to be heard. It's not perfect. You know, it's never, social media, as we all know, is a brilliant platform, but it's not perfect. But it's a chance where fans can be heard. And I say, long may that continue, because as we've seen at football clubs all around the country, you know, fans in this country don't always feel connected with their football club. And maybe that's one of the things that football clubs need to look into more. Because if you go to places like Germany and that, they feel way more connected.
I hear that. Listen, Robbie, absolute pleasure having you on the show. I really do appreciate you coming on to tell your side of the story. Whatever you think, I want to know. Tweet me at hughwizzy, at Talksport2 or at Rambo FYI with your thoughts on the Arsenal Fan TV against Hector Bellerin issue. You're listening to Hugh Wizzy's Mission to Moscow here on Talksport2. Rambo, where do you stand on this?
To be honest, it's a tricky one, because as a player, should it really bother him what's going on the internet?
Well, no, to be fair to him, he has said, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect us, in fact.
He's just having a go, really, isn't he? At the end of the day, he's having a go. I think, deliberately, there's a lot of fans that come on that are basically trying to make themselves a profile online, and the way they do that is by having a massive go. And I think there's a bit of strategy to it. There's a side to me that thinks they deliberately go to a certain type of profile that they know is going to be annoyed, that they know is going to say things that's going to get them their title on a video. And I get it, because it's business at the end of the day. But I think that's where I agree with him. And that I think is his problem. That I think is my problem and many other people's problems. When people go on Arsenal Fan TV, they immediately think, what can I say that will get me on the thumbnail, that will get me in the title, that will make people want to go, oh, I might actually Google whoever this Arsenal fan is. I think that's the difference.
It's quite clear from the reaction from some people that he's triggered them. And from that alone, there is truth to it. If you're triggered by this, he's probably talking about you. Because he's not talking about all the fans, is he? He's talking about a very select few people here. Now, look, I've got a lot of time for Robbie. Robbie's a friend of mine. But hard-hitting home truth is what I'm all about on this show, in life in general. And if you really break it down, Arsenal Fan TV have exploded on the internet, partly because Arsenal have the most active fan base on social media, partly because Robbie and his team work extremely hard, travelling across land and sea, like I said, to literally every game. And partly because we as a country, we as people, love nothing more than a complete meltdown. We as a society thrive on other people's misfortune. And that, my friends, is a fact. It just so happens that the timing of the emergence of YouTube, coupled with the absolute state of Arsenal Football Club a few years back, made for some absolutely golden internet. And Robbie and Arsenal Fan TV have been there, right at the forefront of this new obsession that everyone's got with the fan stuff. That they've created this cast that is as strong as EastEnders. These are some classic characters. And now everyone does have a voice. But no one's forcing you to listen, mate. Right? You do you. But you do listen, right? Arsenal Fan TV and chill, right?
Everyone does.
Deal with these facts, baby. Ask yourself this, though. If Arsenal were winning games consistently, week in, week out games, would there be as much interest in Arsenal Fan TV? And I will let you be the judge of that. You at home.